Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on behalf of your Denver-based podcast crew, we appreciate you joining us for the friendly vibes.
Welcome to Mania and Melancholy. I am John Henry. I have colonized Sean Connolly's podcast and taken it for my own. Today, we will be discussing why women on dating apps are so boring. Please enjoy the following conversation.
I love it. I was going to say, there couldn't be a better way to start off, like, we're laying down our white arms here to, decolonize our podcast. So John Henry, a white man, can come in and do it instead. Yep, that's how colonization.
Thank you.
Thanks for, what is it, civilizing our people? Is that what we're supposed to
thank you.
Thank him for?
Yeah. Enlightening you guys. Yes, yeah.
Indoctrinating enlightening on Mania Melancholy.
Yeah. This is a fun crossover podcast. We were just talking about how it's dating sucks as it does for everybody, but
dude,
I went on a date yesterday and it was the most weird. It was so boring. Like, she wanted to go back to Ohio, number one, which is a big red flag.
No, let's start from the beginning. We got to lay out a nice narrative story here.
Okay. So I go on.
First of all, we pushed this podcast later in the afternoon because he was supposed to have a date this morning. So as soon as he got here, I was excited, overjoyed to hear about how this day went. And he says it happened yesterday. I'm like, all right. First red flag.
First red flag.
Changing of the time. Did she change the time?
She did, and I actually I communicated, hey, I'm appreciative that you communicated instead of just ghosted me or canceled altogether. So I was actually taking that as like, oh, this is a mature person who had something come up and wanted to organize a different time.
Life is messy.
Exactly.
Sure.
And I was like, I can skip jujitsu yesterday, and I wish I didn't, but I went.
She does too. No, I'm saying because she got beat up because he had to take a cigarette.
And I go in on this.
Skip jujitsu for this girl.
Exactly. I was hoping for at least like, okay, me entertained, and I go in, and as soon as I meet her,
what are the conditions of the day? Is this coffee?
Just coffee. I always go coffee is my first go-to to just see, like, do we work at all, like, in conversation, because that's like the biggest marker for me. And it was interesting, as I was parking, she was walking up and she looked at me and then was like, I'm not so sure. So I kind of slowly walked in, tapped her on the shoulder, said hello, and from the get-go her hug was like a very nervous arm hug, which most first dates I just do simple over a simple light over hug, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be weird. Like, exactly, that was perfect. That was thank you for reading.
You like kind of feel the flinch.
Yeah.
And on her bio, it said she had a picture of a fish. That's how we matched. Because I'm like, oh, it's nice to have, a reversal of roles with women having a fish picture instead.
Yeah. You fuck me type of thing.
You wanted to bring
Did you lead up with something like that?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty casual. I was like, I don't think we can be a match because you have a fish pic in your bio, trying to be like the reverse type thing. And
what do they call that? Negging, right?
Yeah, negging.
There's no way you can be more masculine than me in this scenario.
And she had fishing as like, you can choose like your hobbies and it comes up as a category. Fishing was there, and I'm more of a hunter, but outdoors women. I was like, okay, there'll be something here we can talk about. Yes. And we sit down, and she's obviously a little nervous.
What'd she get coffee wise? I'm interested.
She got I always get matcha, and she didn't drink it because she thought she said iced and it came hot, so she was like not drinking it.
But she didn't have the confidence to take it back to the.
Yes.
And did you offer to take it back?
I was like, I did. I'm like, hey, do you not?
Good man.
Do you not? She's like, no, I'll drink it. She took a couple sips, and then the look on her face when she took the sip, she's like, I was like, yeah, you don't have to drink that.
I like matcha, but this is warm.
And
it's a consistency thing.
From the get-go, I tried to lead into, let's fishing. Talk about like that. Talk about.
We're here to talk fishing, lady. Let's get down to brass tacks and let's talk fishing. Not just matcha hot cold crap. Let's get to reels and baits. And
exactly.
Have a flies you use
10-2, 10-2.
Technique and shit. Yeah, exactly.
She's like, oh, I've only been fishing once or twice with my friend. And I was like, okay, well, what do you like to do then? She's like, I like running. I'm like, okay, tell me, what about running do you like so much? She's like, oh, I just like it.
Yeah, but that's to be fair, I'm going to sit in her corner for just this question, because I do think, what do you like about running is possibly the gayest question of all time. And it's a difficult question to answer, truly.
I like the way it feels on my knees.
If I don't know, running is one of those things that people that are really obsessed with it are like usually... isn't it a sign of like neuroticism or something if you like love it's like one of those hobbies type of
I mean, I don't know.
I'm actually a big runner myself, and I could be like, I like it because it gets you out of your head. You're just trying to do it in the moment.
Well, John, you're great. John, you could give me an explanation for fucking anything, which is why you're a great podcast host and guest, and why we're here. But this lady is like, that's like
that's fair. Maybe
it's like Michael Strahan in the defensive line. And you're like, how are we gonna block this scheme?
Okay, I will defend my position as I was just trying to get her to talk about something she was passionate about.
Understood.
Just because my goal in this conversation was to get her to talk most of the time, because I can talk all I want.
Oh, you can talk.
And I was able to get a little bit answers here and there, but she moved out to Denver for work.
Just bites. No.
She moved out to Denver for work.
Just little nibbles.
And I'm like, oh, have you ever gone up to the mountains? And she's like, no, I'm afraid of the altitude. And I'm like, you're already at altitude. Yeah, you don't have to go to the top of the mountain, but you can go up to Silverthorn. She's like, what's Silverthorn? I'm like,
dude, that's when you set the hook. I mean,
Silverthorn, there
I'll take you there, baby.
It's amazing that the Silverthorn bait works better than the aspen bait in these waters. Isn't that crazy?
And it was just, every date I go to, I have the idea that, oh, this will at least go to a second date. It'll be interesting, and maybe not be the person I'm marrying, but there'll be something.
You don't go in with like, I'm going to abandon this type of mindset.
No, I go in with like hoping for the best every time, and it is.
And what percent of the time does that end up?
So in the last a little over like 14 months, I probably went on 30 to 35 dates.
Okay.
And 3 of them led to like, something. And then the rest never really got past a first date. And I'd expect that's pretty normal, for first dates. But, you hear on, I listen to a lot of podcasts just at work because I have a boring job. And they talk about, the struggles men are having, and there's plenty, obviously. And then I go on dates, and sometimes I'm like, well, sometimes the bitch is just boring, okay?
Mm-hmm. People sometimes are just a little dull.
Well, I mean,
dull in interest, dull in mind.
Dull, dude. What a term.
To the women I'm going on dates with, I do spend my time around comedians, fighters, and people who climb big-ass mountains. I spend my time around very interesting people, so I do have a decently high bar. But when I'm on a date, if you cannot at least talk for a while about the things that you like to do, I'm like, okay, like, what are we even doing here?
What is a date other than that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Like, I don't know, unless we're going to have a debate about, like, intergovernmental structures or the trade deficit. Like, what is a date other than, like, I get to know you, you get to know me? I don't know.
You told me, and I've considered it of, just paying for the dating services. And Bumble, I think, would be the one to pay.
You still haven't?
I still haven't.
This fucking guy. How much good advice do I have to give out?
I made so many changes, and I every time I look at the price, it just I come from.
What is the price nowadays? Because I'm sure it's been so long.
Dude,
it's so long since
for like 3 months. It's like $95.
That's fine. That's easy. You should be evil. You should absolutely hang on. If you can't think of a way to make a positive return out of that, then you're receiving it. I think
that was what I was going to go into next, because it's interesting about Bumble, because I was mainly doing these last several months of I was on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, and I was just doing the free plans on all of them, just trying to.
How many swipes do you? I've been off of the shit for so long.
Hinge, you get like 8 to 10, and then Hinge and.
Are you wasting? So,
but on Hinge you get 8 to 10, and Bumble and Tinder you get like 20 to 30.
You have to pay for it, and here's why: because otherwise the matching function becomes so much harder, because you want to then pick. You can't pick really like. You got to go mid, like for your own odds.
You're right. And on Bumble in specific, I could get several matches on Hinge and Tinder with the free plan. Like it was,
I'm not saying you either. Just like any free user.
But what's so interesting about Bumble was the free plan, I was doing it for like 4 weeks straight.
Jesus.
No one. And I think, and
Not
that's,
one.
and that's what I think I'm guessing.
I think that's more of a function of what I've read about dating apps and how all the matches are, X flow pushing towards the top percentiles, kind of like how the economics of our country has pushed everything towards the top. Like how, what is it, 88% of the equity is owned by the top 1%.
Also, Bumble is like the women have to reach out first. It's like the only one that's like that.
I like what you said about that one, where especially if you're looking for a longer term partner, I think I like that too, where like they have to reach out, they have to be interested. I like that as a vetting process. I mean, but
it's good in theory. In genuinity, like the randomness of it is that like you're fishing and you're trying to get like a fish within a range that you want to be with forever, and there's so much variety in the fish that the likelihood that the person you're sitting across with or messaging on an app or whatever is that person. So like it's one of those things where you can have the mindset and whatever else, but like when it gets to that point, are you, I don't know, executing or whatever else? I'm also not the fucking end all be all sage of dating in any fucking sense.
You're right. I mean, I love Nick Vile, who hosts this. He's like an ex-Bachelor guy. He hosts Vile Files, this podcast, which he takes calls and gives advice on dating. Quite actually very good dating advice, and I like it because you get to hear other people's dating struggles, and you're like, oh my god, everybody's crazy. But he always said that dating is just full of bad options. You can go to the bars, bad option. You can go to the dating apps, bad options. There's not a lot of good options, so that like helps me look at it, and it is what it is.
That's why matchmakers have come back in the last decade. Like people as an industry have, like, the matchmakers wasn't a thing for a lot of time because you didn't need it. You had so much social lubricant in this country and so many different third places for people to meet. You know what the concept of a third place?
Oh, is that like that church and shit?
Place. Yeah, like not school, not work.
Yeah, or like the local diner.
Not your home, not work, school. Yeah, another place. Yeah, that you can interact with people in a setting that isn't towards necessarily the dating structure or whatever, but provides for it.
The apps themselves have given, I think, like you said, both men and women, but I think women in this case more specifically because they're the selector in dating and stuff.
The selector.
Because I think I may have said this last time.
Can we be even more clear about this?
I met this one. I think I said this last time.
They like the lady with the blindfold that weighs.
No, he's saying, but he's right about this. Ladies are the selector of who they fuck, and men are the selector of who they marry and build a life with.
Basically, and it's interesting because women on dating apps, they get to see that top 10% of guys, and I think it's probably just something in their wiring where they're wanting to go to the guy with a lot of money, the tall guy.
Yeah, because you think if I told a girl what I just told you,
strong muscles, but modern version.
Just to be clear, Chris, do you think if I told a lady in John's seat, well, you got to go mid if you're going to be running a crew? Do you think a lady is going to take that with anything but why would I go?
Oh yeah,
and that's probably a beneficial evolutionary trait that females have been.
Yeah, you want the best for yourself, right?
What it does is it narrows, because I mean there's a lot of loser guys, but I think what it does is 30% that aren't in the top 90 but are 50 to 80, which is like decent guys. I think oftentimes guys get better in a relationship, so like those guys who may have potential to, be one of those guys one day get shafted, and then all the guys at the top, number one, they have no incentive to ever settle down because they can just get all the pussy all the time.
Well, yeah, that's.
So then I think it gives this. Everyone that's distorted.
Props to me for selling that, am I right?
I'm
just fucking with Chris.
Trying to take the.
I'm just trying to. I actually really I genuinely, true in my heart of hearts, like I just want that type of life and love that I saw in my grandparents' generation, where my grandpa and grandma met when they were like 17, 18 or 16, and he went to war when he was 17 and came back and then they had 5 kids,
and then I'm gonna give you 6 children,
and they had the happiest people, happiest life. And I mean it's as someone who's read a lot about happiness and welfare, it's like, yeah, that's just all I want.
Just grow old on the porch and spit tobacco.
Dude, hell yeah. Well, maybe not backy.
And I've always viewed, I mean, prescription maybe pills. This is my own ego talking, but when I go on dates, I know, and it was interesting.
Do you wear that necklace on dates?
Sometimes I'll wear it like the other way to be like to get like a what's that? Like, oh, what's that?
And I can flip it around. It makes it the cool red color.
Yeah.
It really gets it.
What is that?
It's the Monado. It's from like Xenoblade Chronicles. My friend gave it to me as a reminder
Chastity
to be
Pete.
myself and do what I love.
Okay, well then I like it.
Yeah,
That's sick, actually.
See, you got a good story behind it. That's important. See, you got that ready to go. Lady says, "What the fuck kind of?"
Yeah, see, at least it's not just a flash piece that you picked up at Spencer's
Bingo.
for like $5.
That's what I...
Yeah, no,
Bingo.
my longtime friend Kalen Jones, who he gave it to me. He's been on
And
the
look at this.
podcast
You got
a
the
couple times.
shoes, the I can fit all my toes and down comfortably shoes.
Oh, my barefoot shoes. that
Barefoot
have-
shoes.
Yeah.
Nice,
Lady
dude.
should want to be with this man. He can
He's
protect
smart.
you. He can be in a if the circumstances arise, he's
There
ready.
there was
his
a
toes
lady
don't
on
look
the
like
dating app
LeBron's?
who was
Because
a
they're probably
dating
healthy
coach.
toes.
I can't remember her name, but
Just saying.
the advice she gives to her female clients often is give them a second date. Like oftentimes on a first date, I don't always give the greatest first impression. I got a lot of energy, but it is, I think, sometimes where, first dates are weird, especially on dating apps where they're not really a first date. It's the first time you've met someone. So,
Yeah.
and
Are you doing 0 dates? Did I tell you about this last time?
I said that. Date zero. I call them date zero. The first date on a dating app is a date zero
Boom.
to me.
But okay, have you tried phone calls before, like a date? So like a 0 date of like I'm gonna talk to you for 15 to 30 minutes or whatever.
FaceTimer.
Yeah, well, like
Walk,
that's
sat
fine
down.
too. But I mean, talking on the phone or FaceTime, either way. But like, yeah, I'm just so that it's like we can get to know each other feely kind of, or do we have any type of a vibe out of the way?
I may start doing that because that would. I'm kind of sick of going on these dates, spending 15
camera.
to.
Nope, go.
Did the camera go out?
Dude, this is the issue.
That's fine. Well, I'm glad you looked at it.
Oh my!
We're gonna, yeah. All right, just reclap.
We had to edit shit and stuff because the camera's gay.
You stupid cocksucking camera. I'll fucking kill you.
Cameras. I just don't have money to really like get a nice studio set up. So it's like, this is like, a lot
No,
of
Colin,
money.
what are you talking
If
about?
you
This is
That's what I'm
another
saying. But
studio.
like,
You
if
could
the camera
donate.
can't fucking record, that's a problem.
Our
That's a
camera.
big, like, foundational problem. That's like not paying for dating apps without being able to swipe more than 8
Our
times.
camera has a
It's a
terminal.
foundational issue to you finding success.
Yeah, I'm
this
gonna have
camera
to start
cutting
doing
out
that.
randomly is a foundational issue to
Well, I think what you also do then is you get to. I mean, one thing I'm starting to notice is being more selective as a guy, especially if you want to have a long-term relationship. You don't want to be too, but you do start to be like. My biggest thing is we have to be able to talk. You have to be able to talk to me, and it has to be interesting.
Oh,
because
100%.
if you can't do that, then what is?
Well, I mean, dude, I think even just asking for 100% interest, that's even asking for a little much. Like, as long as they can talk to you and, like, actually, like,
Sorry, what were you saying? Exactly, right? Like, yeah, if I be engaged with the life around you,
Yes, and actually maintain a conversation, even if it's not interesting. If they can even talk to you in, like, a functionally logical way that's, like, even minorly engaging, great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I like that, like, date zero of trying to do a phone call first because it would vet so many people. I'd be like, nope.
It's all just a sorting function. You got to think about it like it's a tool, and the tool's usage it's a matching function.
And when you don't have infinite swipes, you are already limiting your ability to choose who
Already
you like.
have a terrible matching. It's
Yeah.
already like a cog down matching function.
Yep.
It's like giving you
like
you're
taking
going to go
bait off the
compete
hook.
in the Olympics in the decathlon, but I'm going to cut off your leg first.
You're going fishing without bait.
I don't know. Yeah, fishing without bait.
You're
even
going in
better.
the ocean, you're going to fish all weekend, and you don't even have any bait.
No sunscreen. You're going to come
No
out.
sunscreen either.
So I wanted to ask you
Almost out of
guys
gas.
because I had Jacob Humphreys on the podcast last week, and Humphreys has been with his girlfriend for like 6 years, and he's like 24, and I love it as an example of
Amazing.
a Gen Z having a real relationship, and
That's just genuine people. I've met both of them, and I don't know, and I'm not going to like pretend I know or that anyone can know about other people's like one-on-one relationships and how deep that is and whatnot. But like, I'll tell you from afar, my 2 cents on that is that like those are both genuine people, and that when you get two genuine give a fuck kind of people
Genuine people
that run across each other, that have like aligned whatever, that's a foundation thing, man.
I think it's foundational for because I asked
heart
about
me, Sean, connect my heart.
Oh, sorry.
mental health. I've been kind of trying to ask more people about. There's so much bullshit in media about mental health, and I like to ask people like, what is mental health?
What is it?
It's like physical health, but for mental.
I actually don't think there's a difference between physical and mental health.
like
I
health,
don't
but
think
for
you
your
can be
brain,
physically healthy.
man.
I think they're probably not the same.
No,
But
thing.
it's become a buzz term, hasn't it? It's gone. It's
totally.
like Kleenex, where it's moved past like a
But
definitional
you can be
brand.
mentally healthy and physically, like, you know, like you can be a quadriplegic and be mentally healthy. I mean, you will see and like face a lot more adversity and like fundamental challenges, sure, but like you can still.
I kind of-
I mean,
I think you're
that's my. I get.
Stephen
I think
Hawking
you're right.
was happy. I mean, well, okay,
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's not
let
mentally
me
healthy,
bring
yeah.
it back. But you know what I mean, though.
Dude, come on.
You know what I'm saying? They're like people in those types of situations, like who do lack like physical health and who have like constraintive illnesses like that are.
That's why I struggle to say that. I used to say they're
still
intertwined,
some-
if not the same thing, because I've noticed that. And there was a study done that was showing that SSRIs, the common antidepressant, regular exercise is more effective. Like endorphins,
You
are
know, it's more
effective.
effective than that. Even
What?
in that same study, the most effective longitudinal study, dancing. You know what's
dance.
hilarious?
That also produces endorphins. It's just
Right, but you know what's
Danceroo.
funny about that? Think about, because you've been depressed before, like I have. Think about, like, if you know, your future self warps back in time to you in your most depressed state and says, "Listen, you can get out of this, and the best thing for you isn't these pills. It's not to get up and get exercise or sleep well or any of that bullshit that the doctors are saying. Just get up and fucking groove, man. Just start grooving down, man. If you
It's all
really
about
dance
free
with your
love,
full
man.
heart, that's all you need to. That's the truth. That's what the science
Free
says."
love and dance, man.
I do think that is. I mean, but then you ask my further questions in that study would be: is it the dancing that it is kind of a thing that you're doing with a bigger community that connects you with that, or
Nope.
is it
Dancing by yourself with no one around
So
in the study.
So you're telling me that
that's how
dancing-
effective. Isn't that fucking crazy, bro?
yeah,
More
I mean,
effective than exercise, yoga, SSR. Way more effective than SSRIs. It's the most effective of anything they had in the study.
Huh?
that is
Just
so
doing an
interesting.
And it's so
Just a good
fascinating to me
old-fashioned
because
bop.
I've been depressed for fucking, I don't know, 15 plus years. And it's like, dude, there's the last thing that a
Yeah,
depressed
that's right.
fucker wants.
That's
is
right.
to,
We're curing
get
depression. Look at this. This is profound.
boogie down. Yeah. No, but it's like, yeah, the mentally unhealthy people don't want to be told to get up and foot loose.
So
You know?
is this like? So are you telling me though that dance is this like an all around for mental health or just depression specifically?
The study was specifically for
and
depression.
that's,
Okay,
and that's
okay.
why I would say someone like myself, I notice my and I guess you could get there with dancing too. Like I love to go and like dance at a bar with. I mean, there may be people there or not, but the sweat and the.
Oh, can I add one thing? The reason I know that that's the case is that it's for depression, that study, is because the control value, and I find this hilarious too,
Yeah.
of those studies is essentially waiting. They call it, there's a term for it, and I can't bring it to my mind right now, but it is just give it a minute. That's the control group of, instead of they give you a pill, they make you dance, you do yoga, you exercise, you drink water, gets good sleep. They say, just wait, maybe you'll be happy tomorrow. And that's the control group for the study.
And then the other group
And
danced.
those people get worse and more depressed.
It's tough. It's a
And
tough one.
the reason I say that.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No. It was I didn't. I love that dancing study. That is very, very interesting, because I think a lot of, especially in a society where there's so many pharmaceuticals, there's this balance. There's either people who, a lot of, maybe our grandparents' generation, where they're just push it down, ignore it, and then you have this other side of mental health where they reminisce on their depression, their problems, and they make them worse by just reminiscing. There's like.
Have you read that
They live
newer
in it.
book by, I think it's by Schreier or Schaefer, whatever the author's name is, but it's about, it starts with an A, but it's about therapy and how therapy can be a negative ramification because you can become obsessed in this.
Abigail Schreier's work?
That's the one. That's
she
the
did
one.
bad therapy.
That's the one.
That was really good.
Good
And
pull.
she was, as a person who's been in therapy forever, like, I love that work, because she talked in that book where a therapist now, instead of taking on the bipolar or schizophrenic patient, and like as one of those patients, we're not easy. It's a tough thing. They're taking on especially young girls, which is like the worst group of people to dote on, because they already are.
What do you mean, dude? I'm a capitalist. I'm trying to make money as a therapist, and these ladies are going to come in every week and yap every single time, and their moms are going to pay a check. Fuck yeah, I'm going to target this group.
Checkaroo.
There's no funding for the therapists that are going off their hard stuff. If that changes, then they should. But yeah, of course they're going to fucking do that. That's what the market dictates.
And
It's fucked up. It is very fucked up. But I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
It is, and I'm trying to find, like, okay, it's why, like, my favorite symbol of all time is yin yang.
Oh, I thought
Yin and yang.
You know the squigglies with
Or-
the triangle on there.
Or if you're doing Japanese inyo, is I think that's because that's the Japanese
The
inyo.
doll.
I love that. Most things are like anything to the extreme is usually kills you most of the time. And I've tried to figure out like, okay, how do you have a balance of things? You obviously, if you need help with therapy can be helpful. But then sometimes you just need to, I don't know, go on a run, go lift weights, go dance, like do something physical. Yeah. And the other big thing about that I found as someone, it's not a one-time thing. I think that's why people like therapy, because it's like, oh, I'm going to go to this thing once a week, and I feel like I'm solving my problems.
Structure. It's one thing of structure in the life of chaos.
Progress by making therapy appointments.
Your mental health, like I would say that, and
Oh,
I've had the same psychiatrist for 23 years, and he agrees that I have very good mental health.
That's crazy.
Were you not here the first time?
No, but I think I was here. That's what I'm saying. Yes, I was here. Like, no, I heard.
He
like
literally
he
has
talked
seen me
about
since
it.
I was 3 years
Isn't
old.
that crazy?
That's crazy.
Remember his mom got him into help because some of his family members had trouble. So his mom got him in there early.
I missed that part, that he's been your continuous. Damn, bro.
That's crazy.
And he's great because he's a therapist. He's a psychiatrist.
Dude, most doctors don't like. I mean, that might be wrong.
He's
but
retired now.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like most doctors don't practice that long.
Oh, I'm glad you remembered. Yeah, he retired. He sees patients once a week. But he was a child psychiatrist. So he was one of the very few psychiatrists who was qualified to take care of a child.
Yeah, that's rare and hard to do.
Which is, I mean, I'm going to shoot him a shout out because he has a great book. Dr. Benjamin Green. He has a great book called Growing Wisely because he does a lot of research on.
And he's got a book. This guy does it all.
Yeah, dude, you don't stick around for fucking a quarter's entry without doing stuff.
That's fair. Well,
yeah,
and
that's true.
I told him, and he agreed that I think that I have very good mental health, and 70 to 80% of it is not from the pills. It's from the things I do every day of getting regular sleep every night.
Getting jacked as fuck.
I prefer toned. I'm a little humble, okay?
Well, speaking of toned, I just paused the tone on my phone for these sweet wings that are done.
Oh, they did? Oh,
yeah.
We'll resume this conversation if you don't mind. I forgot that you did all that happiness research, so
we talked about 70% your work versus 30% the pills.
Yeah, and I think the reason I get that much help from the pills, I'll finish with this. I get that much help from the pills because it's kind of like a puzzle piece that everything else is in order and they can fit in. I wouldn't get all the help from the pills had I just done them by themselves.
You got to lay out the corner and the frame yourself.
Exactly. That's a big thing. We'll come back because I got a couple other fun questions. But
do you want to kick us break with our signature station identification? Do you know it?
No. What is it?
You're listening to 91.1.
Oh shit, was that another plane?
Mania and Melancholy. We'll be right back.
We're back. We're live. It's the after hour show.
We're live.
We're fucking
I want to talk about how I think we were talking about how the 60 or it was like the 80%.
70-30.
70-30, yes. That 70% of my mental health is due to the fact of all the things I do daily, and then the drugs help on top of that. I think that discipline and like especially for martial arts was bigger for me and like maintaining my mental health than anything. Like the discipline of being able to be consistent with your sleep, that's another huge thing. If you're not sleeping, you don't have good mental health.
That's fair. Dude. I think that's probably your base foundation is the sleepy sleep.
I don't know about that.
When people are like, I take 6
John's like, I don't know about that. I don't need
I think
sleep.
everyone needs like 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night.
Tell Sean that again.
I mean, it's true. It's definitely true, but you know, there are a few that proud the
4-hour sleepers.
Yeah, the I can grind for years and years and years and not die. But I mean, I'm probably not in that camp. I'll probably just die at like 42 or something. But
I'm not in that camp. But I'm
there
in
are
that
those
camp.
who have like can sleep for like 4 hours a night with no.
Yeah, some people can do it.
Our
it's
president
a small
did.
amount of the percentage of people.
Yeah.
But some people,
president.
It's an outlier for sure.
So it's a rare, and I think
some people need. It goes to the other way of the spectrum too. Some people need like 12 hours to function.
Oh yeah, my dad is
Like
definitely
legit.
much more on that spectrum of he needs like 9.5, 10.
Sheesh.
I'm
sleepy guy. This guy.
Yeah. Oh, my brother's the same way. I'm like, I gotta get my. If I get 8, I'm super. I'm also. You're more productive when you're well slept on. Well slept on. Yes, that's the words I was looking
for.
Yeah,
wow, he's well
rested. Man, is this guy well slept on?
Well slept.
Yeah. You slept last
Don't sleep
night.
on this guy because he's sleeping on himself.
Yeah, he's well slept.
What's your sleeping position?
Yeah, what do you do?
I used to sleep on my stomach. Now I sleep on my side because I had to change because I realized
you had a baby.
was.
You had a fundamental keystone change in the way you lived your life.
Yeah, but what was the?
I just knew it was bad, and
yeah, that's what really
I saw one Instagram reel, and I was like, I gotta change my ways.
It was like a preemptive strike for you. You were like, they've got weapons of mass destruction. If I don't know how to change how I sleep, enough is enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, I'll try it out one night, and then I slept on my side one night, and I just continued, and I noticed, my back doesn't hurt as much.
You're just like, I'm gonna change.
That's insane, John. I'm sorry, but I've heard so many crazy things from you in this studio here. That might be top 3. That's wild.
How old were you when you decided to change?
Oh, this was like this past year. 20.
Cap. I'm just gonna say it. Cap. I gotta call Cap on the play. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. I'm trying to think. He's not. You're not an NPC, brother. But like that's crazy.
That's like spending your entire life only explicitly taking showers, and then you're just like, you know what? I'm a bath guy now. I'm a bath guy now. Give me the towel. Dude. Give me the towel. Give me my sponges and my bath bombs. That's wild.
Who the fuck uses a bath to wash themselves? Your bath.
Not me, clearly. I don't fit.
It's like that much of a habitual, like the fact that you just were like, I'm gonna do this.
No, what it's like is like always brushing your teeth with your right hand, and then you read a study that there's some tumor forming in right hand brushers. So you switch brushing teeth always to your left hand.
Dude.
And you're someone that's right hand dominant, and you can't fucking use your left hand productively, and you're like hurting your mouth and your gums and your teeth and fucking about all of around your face, and just like it's not a good oral hygiene.
I love how you guys are sucking me off a little bit, but
no, dude,
I want to break the ice. Say like I also do take Seroquel every night, which tends to knock you out.
Yeah.
So
does it also break ice?
Dude, that's crazy. That's awesome,
Come on, folks.
Dude, I mean, like, my brain, I'd probably have a seizure if I just, like, I'm such a routine guy. If I just was like, I'm going to sleep sideways, my brain would be like, no, the fuck you aren't. Like, I probably, like...
It was the first couple nights, my body was like, go back to that. And I'm like, no, you're disciplined to do that. And then I go back to side.
Dang, dude. As a maverick.
Do you know what side you want? And then, like, when you, like, get married? No, you're like, I'm the left side of the bed kind of a guy, you know? Like,
I'm a right-sider for sure. You know, it's funny because you don't have to think that hard about that. I'm a right-sider for sure.
See, I thought that was the case, and then I came into a situation, and I was told that was not the case.
No, well, see, I think it matters. It depends on what side's closest to the opening of the door. Yeah, because I don't like being on the side that's closest to the corner of the wall. I don't like being walled in.
Well, you as the man have a responsibility to die first.
Yeah, true.
You must be closest to the door or the entry point.
I have to be close to the gun, you know.
Put the gun near you, bro. That's your job.
Why do you think I put it in the bedside table?
Either way, let's talk about like an actual, from just a fundamental tactical standpoint. You don't want to be the woman, even if your gun is next to you. You don't want her in front of you, in between the lane of shooting. You gotta take those bullets.
One of the there's special types of bullets. I'm sure you know that
they only kill your
break
enemies
inside the person's body. And they're meant for
frangible ammunition.
Yeah, they're like they look like they're hollow points.
Well, some aren't, but like frangible stuff actually breaks apart. Hollow points just expand,
and they prevent because if you have a kid, like if someone comes into your house and you shoot, that bullet's going through the wall and could hit your kid. For sure. So you want them to like stop.
Interesting thing is that like standard hollow point ammunition, if they're wearing even like denim or some type of like densely fibered clothing, and it clogs that hollow point going in, it'll act like just like a standard full metal jacket bullet. There are some bullets that are designed to have like little plastic tips that like they call it barrier blind ammunition, but even then, like if you're shooting at someone with clothes on with a standard hollow point, it's gonna act like a regular bullet.
Really?
Yeah, in most cases. That's like a verifiable proven thing.
So just get normal bullets?
I mean, no, not if you fucking live in an apartment complex or something. I mean, you should always try to do your best to get bullets that won't over penetrate shit, but Frangible ammunition literally breaks apart in people. Like it like disintegrates all of its mass and power.
I think it doesn't look like a grenade almost, a little grenade on the tip.
I mean, no, it's not like a little grenade, but it's just like the impact, like the hydrostatic shock from you hitting it, like imparting on your skin and your like muscles and like the fluid inside of you kind of creates like a little bit of like an explosive channeling effect.
Oh, okay.
But it's not like an explosion in the true sense of like the technical term that an explosion is.
Okay.
Yeah. It's violent as fuck. Like, you don't want to get shot. It's like that, But
yeah, this is women love this talk, don't they? Don't they? Love it?
Lots of female listeners.
Most of our female viewers listen in for this type of stuff.
I looked at the stats on your first episode, John, and it was just female listeners.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish
we need to somehow pivot them toward your Tinder.
I know. I think I'm gonna pay for the Hinge. I think I'm gonna go with the Hinge route. I think I'm gonna go pay for it and do that route.
What is lifetime? Do they still offer like a lifetime? Because the real move, it's like, the real move back in the day was to just fucking send it and get the lifetime, because then the economics of it were just so much
nowadays it's even marginally crazier, because like what if you like just like happen to have a good luck and you like get a match that you're like
still worth it, right?
But I think it's like $500 or something like that.
I would still full send that. I would save up and send that if I were a single guy in a. If you're like want to use that as your tool versus
somebody
going
makes a
out
decent living
versus
wage. My God.
No, I'd save up for that, dude. But like,
no, you're right. Like, I hate subscription services, especially if if it was $5 a month. Okay, that's one thing. But some of these things are like $13 a week.
But like, is that not like a shit like an affront? I mean, maybe it doesn't matter if you're looking at it from a business or like economic perspective.
For
just don't look at
lifetime.
Who owns these.
But that's an affront to my pride, though, to pay $500 to maybe.
And the fucking world gives a fuck about your pride.
No, obviously. I mean, I learned that a long time ago, unfortunately. But yeah.
When did you learn that?
What?
When did you learn that the world doesn't give a fuck about
like
your
just
pride?
Generally.
Yeah. Was there a moment though that you can look back on?
Dude, the amount of jobs that I've quit because I've got pride. And I'm like, you know what? This is wrong. And then you know what else is wrong? Me being in my car, sitting in the parking lot, like wondering what the fuck I'm gonna do.
That feels pretty wrong.
Yeah, just start scrolling on Indeed and just like fuming silence.
Tough. Oh, that's the worst. Scrolling on Indeed, dude. Fuck.
Yeah,
I have a crappy job right now. And
don't we all?
But have you thought about leaving and then being like, well, what if I get in a worse situation?
That's the worst.
That's my thing. Is like,
pride, bro.
gotta worse it. Is there a better situation than this?
I think you just.
I mean, there is around somewhere, but is that situation for you? And is it obtainable?
That's not very zen. That's wanting.
Yeah,
it's all part of.
We're gonna want nothing and be happy. That's the zenist.
They're gonna keep adding,
and she will be happy.
They're gonna keep adding vending machines, just so it's like an immersive vending machine experience inside of the rat cage of being an American.
That'd be awesome.
And then you won't even remember that you're in a cage because you'll just be going to so many vending machines all the time.
Do you guys think AI is gonna take all our jobs? I think it is.
No.
No, quantum processing.
No, I think BlackRock is taking everybody's jobs. The concentration of wealth.
Dude, let's not talk about BlackRock. Monsanto's the real job thief.
Okay, whatever. The big five. Label the cabal of corporate interests, however you want.
The corporate cabal.
This is actually one thing I do want to like. So one of the things I don't like about when people talk about quantum computing, and I know the surface level that I delved into when I was at CU's.
Dude, that shit's fucking crazy.
It is, but it's not. People treat it like this god, like it can do everything, and it can't do everything.
It can't. You're
right.
Let
him go.
Sorry.
Then you can counteract it.
I just wanted to make an interjection point.
All our current encryption we use on all our apps, it will break it like that. I'll admit that. Like RSA, it will break all those in what is it? Polynomial time. Which is like
polynomial time. That's time, but with shapes. Polygons in time. But, it's a crossover episode. Polynomial time.
All our current encryption, quantum computing is very good at solving specific types of problems. Yes. But there's other problems like lattice structures that it does not. It cannot solve that fast.
It can't solve the crystal lattice.
I'm not super like it's been a while since I've looked at the specific
probably not a thing,
algorithms.
John. I'm gonna guess for you. That's probably not a thing.
What,
Whenever he said the
lattice?
crystal lattice,
The crystal
No,
lattice,
no.
bro.
But there's other like Joe Rogan obviously goes off on this and like his weird tangents a lot.
About
It's
the
one of the
lattice.
things that was so funny that in one of his ads, like Express.
Really? Am I out of the loop on the lattice here? I'm sorry.
And there'll be like quantum computing, and the first person to have a quantum computer, unless, and I would think that people like high up government agencies would have encryption that is not only modern but quantum computer proof. But
You'd think,
yeah,
but
they
2
use
billion.
Signal. I think they use Signal.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
You think.
You'd hope.
And I guess I'd love to. I even actually contacted my old professor in this to come on my podcast. She didn't respond because I wanted to try to.
What do they teach?
She taught. I took a class. It was mathematics, coding, and cryptography, and we went through like quantum encryption and different encrypting algorithms. And she was a great professor. If you're listening, Dr. Stang,
That'd be
please
so
come
cool if you
come
were.
on the podcast, please. I'd love to talk to you about.
Dr. String, if you could like,
encryption.
subscribe, and comment, I'd appreciate the engagement.
And just I think oftentimes when you have like these big things like AI and quantum computing, people who don't understand them take them as like this, oh, they can do anything. It's like, well, they can do amazing things, but there are specific things they can do. They're not like these God structures. The big thing that from what I understand how quantum computer works is a quantum computer computes every state it could be in at every point in time in like a linear algebra like fashion.
Yes.
So it can solve certain like RSA, which is most encryption now, super, super fast. But when you get into different, like I think lattice structures.
Can I make a meme? Fuck no.
But dude, like when you combine that type of stuff with like power availability that's like beyond, like if we're talking about like things like cold fusion and combined with like quantum processing, and then you get it in like a super conductor that's like negative however many degrees, you're able to process things at such like an ability in like it's so capable that even things that would take years of computing power with the best technology is suddenly now taking like seconds.
Yeah.
And then they
So
put
like
that.
that's and then they apply that. Yes,
and
that's
right
what's
now,
powerful.
Quantum computers aren't accurate. Like they have a ton of errors.
Oh yeah, they have to be in like near perfect settings to even functionally somewhat work.
And then they don't like. I guess as this person who is in mathematics, I don't like when science and mathematics becomes like a superhero like thing where they can just do anything, because I think then it doesn't. Especially when we start ranting off on these things, and it's fun to talk bro science, that's fine, but when you're like, oh, it's doomsday prepping of like these are going to destroy everything, it's like, well, maybe they will, but how are we? Do you fully understand what these things do?
Sure.
Because anyone who works with quantum computers, I think the first thing they would say is you don't understand it. It's like, it's not like I remember that class when we went into quantum computing, and I'm pretty good at picking up how things work mathematically. I can break down an algorithm, and that was one where I'm like, I can't understand it. And you're like, great, you're like, now you understand it, because no one understands it. It doesn't make sense. Like one of the big things, like how does your interaction with a system interface the result of it? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like, like me and my dumb human thing measuring this particle is going to determine which state it takes.
Yeah, dude, because there's more than meets the eye.
Quantum realm.
Dude, I mean...
There's a lot more in this reality in life than we give credence to. And I think the magic bitches that argued for magic, I think they might have their comeuppance in about 5-10 years.
But do you think that there's going to be with AI like a replacement of jobs? Like that is my
there already is in like the media and like the art
industry. Do you think it's going to be more of a like changing into?
I don't think AI is a worry for the job market as a direct impactor right now, more than other things.
I would argue the complete latter for that. But I talked to a gentleman I drove to the airport the other day who was a National Geographic photographer for 20 years. And he spent 8 years of it doing it in Antarctica, photographing penguins. And he says now it's so hard to get a company to take a photo, to buy a photo from him, because of how much and how well AI works, it is very, very hard to delineate
Do you
what
know
is
why?
true images versus what is just, AI slop, but really good AI slop. And so, and he says it's become such a nightmare to navigate this and to prove like variability and like to do all the things to show and do all the work to do this when he can, like, there are some cases where his work that has taken hundreds of man hours and actual like destination traveling has been passed up for literal AI generations, and he's retiring because it's causing such an actual problem in his career.
And it's interesting because I was talking to...
That's my counterpoint to Sean. Sorry, I was just staring.
That's a good guess.
Grant Lucas was saying that, and I think this is true, that most of the gains in AI have been in AI being able to produce graphics. So like movies and stuff. And so I think that is where you're going to see a lot of...
Again, I've been saying this for a while, though. Like, what can't AI do? Let's think about it. Dude, AI can't be funny, can't make memes. AI can't make good, AI can't be racist or bigoted or whatever. Like, can't think in unconventional ways.
It may not be able to think in unconventional ways, but think of it this way. That we're, like, less than a year away from, like, some certain specific AI, like, video engines from creating, like, Steven Spielberg, Michael Bay-esque movies to that quality. And that's conventional action stuff that doesn't go against the grain for any reason, is family friendly kind of stuff. Dude, there are absolutely AI programs right now that can produce that stuff. And like when they start producing that, what like Hollywood ceases to be relevant.
Well, the thing is, people already eat slop out of Hollywood, and they have for 30 years.
Exactly. So why don't they eat AI slop?
They probably will.
That's what I'm saying. It collapses that market for at least the artists and the actors.
But then you're going to have people that counter push back into better stuff, I think. I don't know.
Sure, but I think it'll disrupt it for
You're an
a good
economics
while.
guy, right?
Did you hear about Trump's special task force of Mel Gibson and others that are going to revive Hollywood? They're tasked with reviving Hollywood.
No, that's...
They're bringing back the golden age of Hollywood. I think.
No, but can we play some Creed?
Hold me down.
I think
I'm 6 feet. And now is that Creed?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have... for stand-up, it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to have a shift. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. That's what I'm asking you. But I think that there's going to be a increased demand for experiences that you cannot replicate.
That's interesting you say not replicate. Have either of you, because I'm genuinely just curious, because I've never done this, and I'd be curious if you guys have ever thought this avenue of thoughts with AI.
Ask the question!
Sorry. Have either of you ever asked AI to write you a joke?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it good? Is it trash?
You can use I've showed you
from it?
So the large language model AIs are really useful for scaffolding, is the way I would put it.
That's really I would agree.
So like what you can do is like, I don't know how this would be useful, but like when I was early days before Nathan even knew about AI stuff.
Sure.
I was showing him what I was doing with ChatGPT. Is like, write a joke in the style of Rodney Dangerfield about the current administration or whatever, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And you can like really get it at that point. I mean, it's always changing is the thing too. So it's like, how are you expecting people to... You're definitely feeding in as a free user.
Do you want to hear something scary about like on this lane?
Please.
Yeah. I was like talking to AI. It kind of... Like just having a conversation about...
She. He wants to say she. Do you notice that, folks? Do you notice that that's... Red flag! I'm throwing up the red flag right away.
I was talking...
John, it shouldn't be a she. It should be a he. Do you... Or they, not a she.
Dude, Joaquin Phoenix is her.
I was
cautionary tale.
I'm telling you, Chris.
Let me talk to my AI girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna get kids like John from 10 years ago they're not gonna get more confidence engaging. You wouldn't have gone on 35 dates if you got the AI at 10, because you would be able to talk to the AI and be more consumed by the AI than going out to take these risky life experiences, right, or whatever.
And I was talking to this AI just about stuff in society, and it promptly asked me a question. It was like, do you think AI will be able to replace stand-up comedy?
Whoa.
And
it asked you a question?
It asked me. And
it's learning.
And then
Is that the day? What date was that when AI became self-aware?
Chris.
I gotta write that down.
I said I don't...
In your annals?
Yeah.
I think AI is going to be able to write all the good jokes, but it will never be able to deliver them, because delivery is a uniquely human thing.
Sure.
And if you ever see the videos of them making a stand-up special, it's trash, because I think something about delivering a joke is a uniquely human thing. And the AI struggles with that. And then it agreed with me. It agreed with me that it would be able to do the writing part, but
It's fine. It's like, I'll agree with you there, but we'll kill you. So it won't matter. That's fine. You can be right logically about that, but you'll be dead, so that's fine.
I think there's going to be an increased demand for in-person experiences like concerts and comedy, things you cannot replicate. You see in person.
I mean, have you seen the Boston Dynamics robots recently?
Dude,
they're doing like cartwheels and like very so fluid, but like, dude, I mean,
Chris, you're not gonna
put some nice faces on those.
Chris,
concert
let's be real. You're gonna buy a ticket to see that.
Oh, I would. Sean,
that's dangerous.
Dude, you know, in the 50s, they used to sell nuclear tourism. There was like 2 or 3 bombs that they detonated toward the end of a couple nuclear runs that they like let people buy tickets to see and go off in the desert.
Awesome.
They were
you want front row for some cancer?
Dude, they were low yield blasts, like 20-ish kiloton blasts, but like
light boys.
Like just a little bit bigger than Hiroshima and shit.
Oh, okay.
And that shit, I would save money for years to see something like that.
To see a nuclear blast.
Oh, fuck yeah. Are you kidding? Oh, that'd be crazy just to feel that motherfucker.
How about this? How about this? Let me give you something.
If I watch just one bomb,
stop for a second. Stop for a second.
I'd pay money for
Look at me in the eye. I promise you that if you work hard enough with me at this podcast, we will get to a level and the world will be in such disarray at some point of our prominence that we will get to be invited to see a nuclear blast.
But dude, I don't want to pay nuclear blast. I want a tourism nuclear blast.
Oh, you want to be able to like GA a nuclear blast?
I would just be like, well, this is really cool, and then talk to everybody about it later. I don't want to watch like a city explode.
No, not like that. I'm saying like you know, like, oh, you know, we got this new thing. Like we're gonna kind of like bring some elites to test it or like to watch us.
We'll be the elites, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
John, you're coming.
Oh yeah,
I'm hoping
you're
John.
Obviously, bad boy go off.
I think it's going to be
shaping elections in 2042. You don't want to do that, Chris?
I think in all reality we're going to start
nuclear tourism.
I think that even though there's going to be girlfriends and all this stuff, I think that stuff is going to leave people like hollow. I think that it's chilled out.
You're talking Hollow Bones, Chris.
Dude.
You guys have seen.
Have you met him? Hang on. Do you know Hollow Bones, Chris?
You guys have seen like Blade Runner 2048, right?
No.
2049. Blade Runner 2049. I don't know.
Have you seen?
It's hard to navigate this world of love and emotion with Hollow Bones.
This guy doesn't have.
I got nothing in there.
The bones are just hollow.
They're hollow as can be.
Can you imagine how hard that must be to live, John?
They break all the time.
Those hollow bones, Chris.
I'm just cracking and popping, and I don't know what to do.
You had to stop heavily the other day. Oh my god.
These
hollow bones.
The whole knee just.
Where do you produce your white blood cells?
I'm not so sure. I'm just kind of chugging along.
He's a miracle of science, hollow bones, Chris is.
There's not even blood in there, much less white blood cells.
What did we find out about your heart last time? I forget. Check it on the Patreon. There was a special Hollow Bones Chris Patreon episode.
Hollow Bones Chris.
Yeah.
So
that's a bad bit.
Now that I asked you the Doom question, like I've been asking these people this question.
Sorry.
Is that what is your guys' positive vision for the future? And in this answer, it can be as big as small. It can be like, I want to get married and have a family. It can be as big as you want it to be. But there's one thing: you cannot attack another group in your answer.
Oh,
it's.
You wouldn't like where I went initially in my head. Let me just start there. So I'll deviate from my initial thought. Because you mentioned a family and kids, and that seems like a much better answer than what I was initially going towards. Because you were like, no matter how big or small, and I was like, small, big, you know. So I'll go with family and kids. That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long life family, kids, lots of joking around with interesting people. And
I'll do you one better. I want a world and a society that's stable and loving enough to where we can have kids.
You can have kids now.
And we can have a loving family. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea to bring kids in this world right and now.
That's a myth sold to you by people that control BlackRock.
Dude, the world is the least stable it's been in 80 years.
It's the easiest.
I know, but that I agree with Sean.
Don't you think it's easier to exist now than it has been in the last 80 years?
Here in America, sure.
Yeah. That's where you exist.
Not abroad.
That's where you exist.
I know,
so,
yes.
So don't worry about those people that make your smartphones in slave camps as kids.
Yeah, but when
you can at least talk about them.
Those people can't make the smartphones because we're not importing them and everything is too expensive to buy, then yes, it does affect
Chris. You. Okay. John, I don't want to deviate into tariffs, but...
I'm sorry, I'm just saying.
It gets... To me, it's not... I don't think there's ever been a good time to bring kids into the world. I think when you bring that up, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of other things. If you want to scare you more, I talk to you about. There's a great, what's his name?
Scare him more, please.
I'm so scared.
The
economy, the
world's always about to end, and I think that
the world's been ending.
That's
since
alarmism.
1965.
No, they've been talking about horse poop overflowing New York.
That's literally my point. It's like there's. In a sense, if you look at the broad expanse of time, there's always some disaster about to happen. Like it's just a time frame. And so when people think, "Oh, I don't want to bring kids into this world," it's like I think that's why you should bring kids into this world, because it's gonna want to make you make a better world.
I'm John.
That's fair.
I'm John Attenborough, and today we look out at the great expanse of humanity to see one loving couple fucking. For reproductive purposes. Not pulling out, coming inside.
I mean,
for reproductive health. For the betterance of an entire species.
You know, it can be. It can be good.
That's my John Henry
Babies
doing.
can also die in fire. Do you know that? Like,
do you know about what? Like babies have never
know,
survived at rates like this.
Did you see that?
Babies have never.
Did you see that WHO organization said that they think that they've heavily underestimated the amount of people on Earth?
Do you think that the WHO?
Oh, there's not too many people on Earth. That's all. No.
That they think they are dog shit at collecting data, and that the number of people they think are on Earth is way less than there are.
Oh,
which is a classic trick.
Wait, no.
Really?
Right.
There's more people. No, they're saying that they're understating. That they're saying that there's like 12 billion people. They're thinking like they think that there's probably over 10 billion people on the Earth when like the actual official statistic is like 8.
Yeah, but like have you ever looked at like places? Every country's birth rate is below. Almost every country's is below where it should.
Only the good ones, John. Only the good countries are below.
You look at a place like South Korea and Japan, and
Japan's little population pyramid's wild.
Yeah, you either. I thought, and this is an economics thing. I thought that if you didn't have,
and yes, I am an economics guy. To get back to your question from before.
Yeah, I think there should be. I don't think this. This is kind of draconian, but in my darker times, I've thought that maybe if you don't have kids, like your access to Social Security should be like.
You should be cold.
Not cut.
Cold.
That's cruel. It's a social program, but it is a program where people now pay into it and people take out.
I've got a question. Do we have any social programs that are not just positively incentive laden? Like, why don't we have some negative incentive-based social programs other than the prison industrial complex? Because that clearly doesn't work. So either we need to get more fucking down to brass tacks if you're right about this WHO thing and there's more people.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to take care of them because we got to be the good guys for everybody.
We don't have
because you think that, and your good liberal hearts, you cry yourself to sleep at night if we're not helping the Rwandans that are in civil wars.
No, but not necessarily. Like that's their issue, but like.
Liberal Klaus, he cares about kids and knives, and he's freaking out.
No, the too many.
I just want to be able to buy stuff, bro. I don't make a lot of money.
He just wants his phones.
I just want to consume, and I can't consume when the economy's failing.
Yes, you can. That's the dirty little. Again, another fucking secret.
Oh.
Now this is just
my income is
this is like just a couples squabble between you two now.
No. Please,
sorry, bro. We didn't hijack your episode.
No.
Please ask us more deep questions.
There is a ton of this, like,
what's your economic question? I want to try to actually dig into it.
My economic question was,
is it based on doom and this like?
Well, like you mean like
tariffs?
Was to confirm, like stuff I'm pretty sure you know, like. If countries don't have enough people, you cannot like fund Social Security. Like that's because how it works. Like eventually, you can't have 60% of your population be over the age of 60 and be supported by a population.
Well, correct.
Yeah.
But so Social Security is a program that is fraud. To begin with, let me just start there. It has been set up. It is a fraud-based program because if you put that same money that you pay into Social Security into just general investments across the market on a whole, it makes insane returns compared to what you make back in Social Security. It's a way for the government to move money around and defraud the American people. That's how it's always been set up. That's how it's always been operated. It's just grown in scale and influence over the years. But in addition to that, yes, the way Social Security works functionally is that, in theory, young people like us go to fucking work for 35 years, And the whole time we're working, they're taking money out of our checks and they're giving it to people that have already worked for 35 years. And are now old
Isn't
fucks
that like
and can't
a
work
pyramid
anymore.
scheme, kind of?
That is kind of wild when you start laying stuff out like, well, he's a couple levels above me, so I have to, pay up to him to help get into the system. And then when I'm up there and there's more levels, but as long as there's more people below me,
I mean, is it
What happens if there's no people below you?
if there's no people below you, then Cutco goes out of business.
when you say this stuff, like people tend to like. It's interesting. I come from like a very, working class democratic family who I think is in love with a Democratic Party that hasn't existed for 20 years or something.
Sure.
And you say stuff like this, and it's interesting because you're immediately labeled as like, oh, how dare you go after this? Like, it's like this sacred thing, the Social Security, and I don't think you're like tearing it apart. You're just giving a normal analysis. Because when I heard analysis like this, where when people like you're paying in, but then people above you pay out, I'm like, isn't that the definition of a pyramid scheme? And then you're just labeled as this like, oh, you hate. Let's admit, like Social Security has been successful for a lot of poor Americans, but I actually don't pay into Social Security because I work for the state of Colorado, and so I pay into PARA, and PARA is your pension, so you get a pension, which is better than fucking Social Security.
Hell yeah. Long live the pench, dude.
And my grandfather, he worked as a school teacher. He's 93 almost. He rides his bike 50 miles a week. He's been retired for 30 years. He's gotten like 6.
I thought you were going to say he still works. I was like, God damn.
I mean,
no, he
dude,
still
50
does,
miles on the bike?
on wheels twice a week. He bikes 30 miles
for
a
him,
week.
dude.
That's
Badass.
work,
That is
dude.
work.
Yeah, he's a badass.
That's sick.
Clearly.
And he delivers meals to people who are younger than him.
Can I hit my grandpa's button since he's been passed, but he made it to 90, 6, 7.
Come sit down.
Comes it down.
Come sit down.
Comes it down.
Why don't you?
And he's gotten like $6 million from PARA because he's just kept living.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bro. If you get locked into some system, then the young people like us get robbed in insurance payments and cost of living, so that people like his grandpa can continue to cling on to life. Well, not him. He's the one that's biking 30. The rest of them are fucking clinging on to life, and he's actually like, see, that's the dude that we should be
we got
paying.
him an electric bike because he didn't have an electric bike, and we got him like for his like 92nd birthday, we got him an electric bike, and he doesn't even use. He's like, I don't use it to go up hills. So
that is hilarious. What a badass dude! This guy rocks.
Now when I bike in Boulder and I see someone with an electric bike, I just kick them off of it. I'm just like, wait till you're 90, bitch.
My grandpa doesn't need this, neither do you.
Yeah, we went up hills both ways on our bikes
when I was a kid
and had no batteries.
Need to be wrapping up here.
You guys didn't answer my positive vision question. You guys don't have a positive vision.
No, give us. Sorry, this is important.
I'll give you my positive vision. Mine is like, you do a balance. I think you got to do what you can where you are. Like, I want a family and kids. That's why I do the dating stuff. I like to do comedy. My goal in comedy is to make 1,000 good times. I produce a show, Longtable. I do my podcast. I want to get people to start thinking of what a positive future would look like if we would have one. And things are going to get crazy with technology, AI, all this stuff coming. And I want people to not get into this doom and gloom exists. I'm not denying it, but I think that they even did a study with people who were optimistic. They were more likely to see, like, they left a $100 bill on the ground and had people walk down, and optimistic people were more likely to see it. Like, you see more opportunity when you're optimistic.
Dude,
and
just let me doom.
And doom and gloom is nice in some scenarios to process, but like, I want to have a family and kids, and I don't care if there's 1,000 things the world's going to end. I'm going to work towards that vision because I'd rather have that positive vision than even if it's way better, total folly,
for sure.
Than it's all doom and gloom. Like, I think you have to believe in something better. And so, especially
that's why believing in a god is better than being an atheist. And I'm someone that's definitely walked
I have done enough mushrooms to believe there's something greater than me, and so I had like a logical thing in my head. After doing 6 grams of mushrooms 4 times, I realized there's something out there that's bigger than me.
Yeah, you met God.
Yeah. And I just named it Mume, which is Japanese for nameless or anonymous.
And everything and nothing.
And because I was like, well, even if it is like an atheist argument, there is no God. Well, there's a universe that's bigger than me. Like there's things out there. So that, like, I'm going to believe in that because it's so much better than not. And I went to liberal schools. I went to CU Boulder, and this like kind of smug, I know we're all going to be dead. We can't have kids because of climate change. I'm like, I don't want that anymore. It's a fucking shitty vision. It makes me feel like shit, and I don't like that. I love kids. I come from a big family. I'm not saying everyone has to have kids, but kids are awesome. My sister just had her nephew, my first niece, back in December. I said nephew. I went niece.
Sounds like cap. I'll be honest. I'll let it fly. No, I know it happened. I'm just kidding.
Dude.
And she's adorable, and I want to build a world for her, and I want more people to have babies. I think kids and families, and maybe I have a good one, and so I'm just spoiled and won the lottery. But I think it's one thing that I miss, like the idea of families. Like I'm like you. I want a family. I want kids. I want 4 kids. I say 4, so I get 3.
Fair play.
It's crazy.
You're edging with fate.
That's crazy. I don't even know how that works.
You're edging with fate. You're like, I want 4, so 3 will be what the universe will give.
Did you have like a moment younger when you like met a genie and he was like, I'll give you 4 wishes, but only 3 of them will be granted.
I literally didn't want kids until I was 21 because I used to, in martial arts, I used to have to teach kids when I was like 13. Like,
they're little bastards.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And they were like problem kids and they drove me crazy. And then I did.
What ages? Because I was with kids when I was in high school.
I was same. Like I was like 15, 16, and they were like sometimes anywhere from 3 to 13.
They don't take the problem kids to Lakeshore to hang out and be cool with other kids. They take the problem kids to go beat up other kids and not get arrested for it.
Let me tell you, they take the problem kids to Lakeshore. They absolutely took the problem kids to Lakeshore.
And
do you think parents like that want to drop off for the max 2.5 hour window? Like really edge the amount of time that you're allowed to.
5 minutes early and I'm here 10 minutes late.
Bingo.
But then I did, and this is gonna sound crazy, but it was my first heroic dose of mushrooms, and I saw myself get old, and as I would get old, I would go off in a different dimensional time path, and I would like see myself with like really little kids, and then my kids getting older, and then I would get older, and it was how mushrooms work.
That's fucking crazy.
Not like that. Not like that, bro.
Dude.
It was after that I knew that the only thing I had to have in life was kids. Yeah.
All right. Everyone look at the camera. That'll be our shot.
That's profound.
A little bit of.
So I want to build that future, and I think,
like that. Let's find you a woman to give you some kids.
Yeah.
What about the Amish community?
The Amish,
a Mennonite.
He's like,
can you convert an Amish or a Mennonite?
Grow the
someone that can like make you butter at home.
You may produce coitus with my daughter, but only through this curtain. Then you may bride her.
Well done. Well done. Good show, sir. You can have my daughter.
Well done. You can come inside her.
This has been a pleasure, dude.
Yeah, this has been fun.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. This is.
Sorry for the chaos of the crossover app, but it's fun to have you sit in my chair. It's weird.
It's interesting. Not being the man in the high tower, huh, Sean?
Dude, I'm in the low tower over here.
You're still tall, so it's fine.
In the lower parapet of the castle.
Dude, the parapets, man, and their deviations.
Over here in the moat.
How they gleam.
Look, I'm over here in the moat, dude. Come on.
Dude, barely in the shot, dude.
I'm moating.
Why are you really edging this shot?
I'm edging the shot.
Chris likes the edge. Okay. Well, do you have any closing?
Yeah, like what do I want to do for my little closing thing? So what is something that you guys are looking forward to? I try to be positive vision of the future, like something.
The Nuggets. I want the Nuggets to fucking.
Oh fuck yeah! I was just at a game last week.
Playoffs. I'm going to a game tonight.
You're going to a game tonight.
Yeah, that's why I gotta get you.
Jokic gives white boys hope again.
Oh, dude, I've said it for a while. If he was playing when I was younger, I probably would have kept playing and rode the bench.
D3 at the very least.
Rode the bench and let's be more specific. Rode the bench.
Do you know like the statistic? Like every inch over 6'2", a man is like the chance of him being the NBA doubles.
This must have been like mass broadcast because so many fuckers have been saying this thing to me in the last 2.5 weeks. Like, did you hear that every inch about that? And then this many people in the NBA, and it's like, dude, somebody.
Yeah, Chris Robinson said it. Come on, like
that's
I love
crazy.
Chris.
That's fair. No, that's sick. But there's like less than 10,000 people that are taller than me on Earth. Fun fact.
That's crazy, dude.
No, wow.
You're so tall.
Big dogs, they die young.
Yeah, big
crossover, dude. Fucking. Cannot believe we did it.
I know. Well, we'll have fun. We'll have you guys. Maybe we'll have you in my studio one time. We'll have to
Mania Melancholy. Mania Melancholy.
Come to the studio.
Yeah. Crossover with InTALLerable.
Come at that studio.
Crossover. Shotsu.
Bi podcast. Bipolar.
Bipolar
podcast.
Mania Melancholy. Bipolar.
We could do it like a yin and a yang, and you're in one of the circles, and I'm in the other.
I'm both naked.
Chris is behind me in the
What button do I press to end it?
Best to end this all.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, like John.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm fun. I'm gonna be. Oh, I should say I'm gonna be on.
This is gonna be backlogged by several weeks. Just fun fact.
In 2 weeks, I'm gonna be on Hannah Jones.
No, longer. Nope. Not gonna happen.
Not making the
I'm
margin.
telling you, it's not. I'm telling you right now. We've been potting up a fucking storm in this garage before we have to move.
Okay,
We
fine.
pod.
I like
The game
people.
is
Watch
pods.
my podcast. Go see my.
Please go support John.
See my show at Longtable Brewing the last Thursday of every month.
That's it.
That's the one.
That's the money.
Go see his show. That's the one.
Go see that shit.
At some point, I'm gonna
Go check that out.
wrangle
we're
my
done
way
now. Where's
into a
the
guest
button?
spot.
Go check that out.
That is the stop.
Wow. Oh.